go back in the past and we can think about things that have happened. We can reminisce in them or whatever. And we have something else called imagination. This is our ability to think into things that have not yet happened or they not be exactly the way that they are. And both things, of course, are not very relevant to the present because they're either in the past or in the future. And part of the challenge for us is to realize that the water passes under the bridge only once, to indicate that we may not be able to do anything of the past for the past. We may not be able to do anything with the past. We may not be able to do anything really with the future because it's not yet here. But what can we seize in the moment? And the moment can be this second, the moment can be this year, the moment can be this century, the moment can be defined in different ways. So in therapy, we have something called existentialism, which is an approach that does bring us to the moment. When we can bring ourselves to the moment, to let loose of our past, to let loose of the future to some degree, and focus on the moment, this can be very helpful to us. And in fact, the good thing about memory is that it can always bring us to some pleasant things. Of course, the bad thing about memory is it can bring us to some unpleasant things. The good thing about imagination is that it can allow us to think into things that have not yet happened that are pleasant, but also things that can be unpleasant and make us anxious. So we bring ourselves in the moment. And in this particular case, I'm going to play you the tune Know the Story of Our Peace. I will play it in C. And I want you to listen to the song as I go, and the song will develop itself a little bit. Just listen to the different approaches that I used in the song and just see where the song takes you, where it brought you into the past, where it's taking you into the future. The whole idea is just to bring yourself to the moment. And the lyrics are very similar. Just like we say, Dife Mama Dife, we say, Daddy No More Love. The lyrics are pretty similar. Very simple, rather. Know the story of our peace. Know the story of our peace. Know the story of peace. That's all. That's the entire song. Is know the story of our peace. Yes, yes, yes. Merci, merci, merci. By accordion, one of the first things someone should do the accordion is to Smell it. It's made a little canny. Zo sabe sa canny, né? Zo sabe sa canny, canny. Você já caiche, mas agora você caiche. So a little moisture got in the bellows of the accordion. My guest is looking at the accordion like, I think he's gonna do something with that later on, I think during the break he gonna get a little practice. I'm gonna give him a little do re mi and see the practice. I know our guest is no stranger to the sound. You can play the accordion now?
I can play the piano.
Well, that one is diatonic. Maybe that's even easier than the accordion. Maybe.
Maybe we'll see.
Devin Centelaire is here in studio with us. We were flying down. I won't say which part of the plane we were, if we were on outside, if we were on the wings. I won't say where we were. But we were neighbors on the airplane, American Airlines. And we were actually, there was one person between us that it turns out that, we haven't to have had a conversation. And he told me, I don't think you know who that guy is that's next to you. And I said, no. I said, who is, DJ Avalanche? And I hear all Caribbean people, we song like we're from somewhere, right? So I heard the way he sounded. And to make one or two, to make a long story short, as is usually said, he ended up being from St. Thomas. Now, St. Thomas is the first place that my family migrated to. I was part of the National Guard. That's where I actually joined the military. I was over in the Grand Boko building, and I was working at Bevin Motorworks. God bless his soul, man. And we kept talking about Jamban and Imagine. Imagine after you and I introduced ourselves, he and I ended up talking to the,
I thought you all were getting into it.
as if we knew each other for a long time. Hopefully, someday we can actually do an interview with him, man, because I learned some real great things from this brother. So tell us, I know that you're probably no stranger, but this time people may know a lot of your work. I mean, people were passing you, and everybody that was passing by the aisle looks like they knew who you are. So tell us who you are, and later on we'll talk about this big event, this World Creole Music Festival. We'll talk about the culture of Creole. But tell us, who are you?
So I am a behind the scenes kind of guy.
Okay.
But as time goes on, people get to, know who I'm. I still try to keep a pretty low profile, but we produce festivals, concerts, shows, events, fetes,
Right.
fundraisers across the entire Western Hemisphere. So we're based in Florida.
Okay.
From Dominica, we activate all the way coming down the chain: Jamaica, Bahamas, Antigua, St. Lucia, Trinidad, Dominica.
Oh wow! What's the name of your group?
My group is called Radiance Productions.
Radiance Production. Wow. Yeah. Well, tell us, what is that? Who coined that term and what does it mean? It sounds like a pretty catchy term.
So it actually was founded by three of us, my wife and I, and one of our business partners, Justin. And we formed it out of a monogram of our children's names. So my daughter's Amelia, her middle name is Rain, and his son's name was Cadence. So Radiance came out of Amelia, Rain, and Cadence at the time.
So how did you make Radiance is a name? It seems like it could be an acronym. It could be just a beautiful name or word, but it also has a meaning.
Sure.
So how have you tied in the meaning that Radiance had before you into your existence?
So I think whatever we touch, there's a certain feeling that our patrons get that it was special and different. So we like to say, it was radiant.
Nice.
So we make it a little bit brighter, a little shinier, a little nicer.
Nice.
We make it radiant.
That is very creative. That's very creative. It reminds me of the word catalyst. And in chemistry, a catalyst is something that changes something else without itself having to change, right? Or without this having too much altered. It may exercise some strain, it may get a little older or something, but it really does not transform beyond the point of recognition, right? Or even close to it. So, well, that is good. How long has your group been together, your organization?
Well, Radiance itself was formed in 2016.
Okay.
2016, 2017, that time frame. But we've been doing events from before that. I'd say we've been around for about a decade now.
Yes. Well, so before we get into the events itself and you say you and what's your what's the composition of the group? It sounds like you may work with people beyond Dominica, but it sounds like it's something that is so big beyond Dominica, beyond the region, beyond where you are in Florida. It'd be good to get a sense of that logic. But tell me about your journey to this realization that this is something that the Almighty, the universe, has set for you to do. And I ask this because we have with Peaceology, we're working for a lot of young people,
Sure.
different people, but the idea of Peaceology is science and practice of low stress and high joy. But we know you love that one, right? We all can use
low stress and high joy.
Yeah, the science and practice of low stress and high joy. Right? We think that's the some things the world wants the most. Somebody either wants both of these or one of these.
So I have a similar slogan. It could be interpreted to mean very similar, but it's different. It's born to fed, forced to work.
It fits along the line. Born to fed, forced to work. I like that one too. That fits very well. By the way, folks, we just want to remind you that this is the 20th of October of the year 2025. We're here on the big station, Q95 Radio, and you can call in. We have various numbers you can use. We're on air. You can call 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. And if you are overseas line, you can reach us at 305 432 9624. Again, 305 432 9624. I'm here in studio with Devin Saint-Hilaire. We are happy to be in communication here. We'll be going until, believe it or not, we have less than an hour and a half left here in studio. So we'll be spending some time learning more about his background and learning more about his journey. And for those of you who are listening and have carving out careers for yourself, trying to find your purpose, trying to connect yourself to your youth, to your middle section of life, to the later part of life, to whichever the journey of life is an interesting one. And we hope it can be a radiant one for you, a radiant one for you as well.
That's it.
Yeah. So tell me about your upbringing, your youth. What kind of grounding you had, what type of cultural foundations you have,
Sure.
and so on. Yes.
Sure. So I was actually born in the U.S., but I lived here in Dominica since I was 3. I went to Creche, I went to SMP, I went to SMA.
Okay.
I went to Dominica State College.
Okay.
I left after one semester in Dominica State College. I did 3 majors: biology, physics, and computer science. And then I went on to study at the Florida Tech.
Okay.
Where I studied computer science. And then I worked in the field of software development for about a decade at Microsoft directly, and then for another 5 years or so independently. And for the past year and a half or so, I've been working full-time at Radiance.
What, for how long?
For the past year and a half or so.
Yeah. Tell me, how does that feel?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I've been working at Fortune 500 companies and all of the top American brands all over the world, actually, for the past 20 plus years. And, doing multi-million-dollar deals over there. And then, doing multi-million-dollar deals at Radiance. And I'm like, you know what? It's just time to push all the chips in and see where it can go. Wow. And it's interesting, because I'm doing all of the right things, but, world and cultural and economic climates are a headwind that I have to navigate on a constant basis. Like if the economy is not good, then it doesn't matter how good the show is, it's not going to do well.
Oh my goodness.
And this is different in each place, so sorry to go on a little tangent.
Go
but
ahead.
A friend of mine and I, who's, she's at Meta, which is Facebook, and she's done well. We were talking about how, she was really excited. She'd made her first million. She was, on that path. And I feel like it's something we don't talk about enough amongst ourselves as Black people. It's money. This is how the Jews make it. They talk about their money. They talk about how they're investing and spreading their money. So we were having this conversation very openly. So I'm like, let's have the conversation, right? When are we moving home? Right? We always talk about like when we're moving home and why not. And she said, well, I could be home part time because there's just some creature comforts that I don't get at home that I really need to have for me to be comfortable. And also just like the stress of being at home and just the laissez-faire attitude and the yaman, it will get done and it doesn't get done, right? Because we are corporate driven, we are detail oriented, we are project oriented, we need to meet and exceed our expectations and our deadlines. So I was at that moment a light bulb went off in my head and I'm like, oh my god, I've made my life 7 times more difficult than it needs to be. Because here I am living in the United States, but now I'm serving the entire Caribbean, right? So I'm dealing with the stress and politics of Jamaica, the stress and politics of Trinidad, the stress and politics of Dominica. Every island has a different set of stress and politics. And not only that, I'm also serving a Caribbean diaspora market in America. So like I'm just I'm doing it the wrong way.
but you chose to do that.
Yeah, it's madness. It's madness. It's madness.
Yes. Yeah, wow. I was talking to a young person, some young people, and I'm preparing to have a conversation with another young person who is very brilliant, and a few of them who are very brilliant, and they have the ability to be a primary or kind of secondary entrepreneur, right? Because sometimes, even if we're working, we have something on the side, or something we're working for ourselves. Sometimes.
I think that's a critical thing that a lot of young people miss. When I was in my early career at Microsoft or wherever, I was like, I'm good. I don't need to do anything else. And that was one of the things that I learned to regret later in life. Your stool needs multiple legs.
Yes.
Just multiple streams of income. Don't say no to opportunities that are worth at least trying.
Yes, and especially opportunities that could bring you some returns, but also give you some exposures to things that you perhaps have been wondering about, but have never had the opportunity to try it to the point where you could probably break it, or probably you did break it, and to recover it, or to create something even better than what you broke.
Yeah. So, I mean, once you go down kind of the entrepreneurial path, you learn that there's many different forks in the road, and you continue to network and meet people, like-minded people like yourself, and then opportunity just continues to flourish.
Yes, I as you're saying this, I think I can have liberty to mention his name. He's a good friend of mine. He's a Jamaican reggae artist in Chicago. Norman Kerr. He used to be the director of violence prevention in Chicago. He has a band named Official, like official, but Official reggae band. And this guy, brilliant guy, MSW from University of Chicago, kind of mellow guy, well connected and all that. Top of his job with the city. And then all of a sudden he told me that, he was quitting and going on his own, right? And I mean, I would never tell my friend doing something crazy, really, unless they're really doing something crazy, right? But it was to me like you have a sweet spot, you have a nice job, you're the headline news, you're all that stuff, and he and I are friends, but we're not talking about it that much. So he just said, "I'm going on my own." I'm thinking, well, he's doing something reckless, but I know him well enough to know that he doesn't tell me everything, and I do not tell him everything. So, but I don't just trust him, right? And then a year passed and so on, and he came to Dominica, visited with me, and we didn't have a bed in the room where he stayed, so we made a bamboo bed together, and he liked the mattress, but not so much. But he spent what he spent on the mattress. So he started buying stuff, just because my partner. He said I did something, and like saying I know the guy with the raffle, a whole truck of stuff, bro, came up and stuff. And then we're having a conversation, and it's like what he paid in taxes. Some people probably really wish to make that, in a year or two, and he's so kind of chill about it. But the fact of the matter is that caused me, in preparing that conversation with some young people, to say, if you have the choice between the following: a career, B, a legacy, or C, a career and legacy. There probably could be more, but just keep it simple. Which would you choose? And I think, sometimes people talk about the idea that why sell your labor for hundreds of thousands when you can keep it for millions? Now, it's probably not that easy. It's not that easy because we're talking about net and gross, and we're talking about the returns are not just financially, their psychological safety, their security, their risks, their children, there are a lot of exposures, But I believe we need to have more conversations about how to do that, because when I listen to some of my students who are from different Middle Eastern background, and maybe from in Northern Asia, Southern Asian background, European backgrounds, and I hear them having conversations. And when they start to talk about things like stocks and bonds, and they start to talk about trusts and stuff like that, and some of them are 12 years, like I'm just eavesdropping, just happen to be there, and the kinds of things they're talking about.
Yeah, no, the American mindset, the American dream, the picket fence, the 2.5 children, the middle class dream is more achievable than more people think, and it doesn't have to be in America. But it's a very achievable thing. As a matter of fact, the problem is that the reason why a lot of us are not as successful as we should be is because we are ill prepared to receive it, or what we should be doing. So I believe that we're kind of raised, or and educated to be cogs in the wheel, like just follow the orders, do the thing, don't question the norm. Whereas if you can just kind of pick your head up a little bit and look, you will see some opportunities in front of you. During the pandemic, a colleague and myself, we actually wrote a book that's called The Immigrant's Way to Wealth. It's short. It's 74 pages long.
Nice.
But it's just like a few chapters of contexts of things that you should understand to make it work in the system. And it's the same kinds of things that you're mentioning. And it also mentions some books that you should read that beyond this book. It's just like an index.
Can you tell us some of the books?
The book is called
some of the books you tell me about the book, but also books you're recommending to read. Yes.
Oh, the books that we're recommending to read. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Robert Kiyosaki,
like the basics, like that. Right, like just the read this, just read that. And it's like, if you read this 74-page book, it's gonna be like duh. Like it's just basic stuff that you've accumulated over the years, but this is the book that you hand somebody, like
delivers it to them.
The preface is like, this is what I wish I would have been given when I landed at JFK.
Oh my goodness! So tell the listeners the title too, and tell us where we can get them.
Yeah, so you can get the book on Amazon. It's called The Immigrant's Way to Wealth.
All right,
it has like a little yellow cover, and there's dollar signs and the Statue of Liberty.
Man, good stuff. You see, I told you this guy was getting into he's going to get us into some interesting things as we get to talk more about what we are talking about. But I think part of this is getting into context, because sometimes, we know people, but we don't really know the story. So what part of Dominica are your people from?
My mom's family is from the Loda area.
Okay.
My dad's family is from the Newtown area.
Okay, well.
And then my mom actually grew up in Goodwill. And then I spent a bit of time in between Goodwill, St. Aroma, and Mont Daniel.
And is your wife of Dominican heritage?
My wife is also of Dominican heritage. Her family is the Rowell family.
Oh, okay. So that's
Hillsborough, Layou area.
Oh, over that way. Okay,
yes.
Okay. And does she have family members that live in Lodi as well?
No.
Well,
yes, actually. I mean, she on her mother's side, the McIntyres. So she's Rowell McIntyre.
Okay.
So the McIntyres live up that way.
Oh, yeah, up in Fort County. Okay, all right. Well, that's good. Yeah, and then probably the roles are connected in different kinds. We have a lot of roles up in Lodi, Trafalgar. So we have some kind of Roseau Valley connection, general Roseau area connection, Dominica connection, the immigrant way to wealth, and it's the Statue of Liberty. So what motivated that picture, the image of the Statue of Liberty? And
I mean, I think when anybody who aspires to the American dream, they kind of see this Statue of Liberty as a beacon of like hope and deliverance, right?
Yeah. In case you guys wondering why I just switched topic like that, Devin just showed the cover of the book. E.K. Nazier is what?
It's just a fake name.
So that's you get the millions and nobody knows you. I like that.
Like I said, I like to be in the background.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Actually, I'll certainly look at the book, and maybe at some point I'll probably read the back. Can you tell us tell us a little bit about the back? What's written on the back of the book?
The back says, the question was, if you could go back in time to one moment, what would it be and what would you do? My 18-year-old self just landed in JFK on December 16th, 2001, barely speaking English with 2 American Express traveler's checks, scared but excited to take on this new journey. I went through immigration. I went to the bathroom. As I walked to the bathroom, the realization of being alone in a foreign land where I knew not a soul dawned on me. The soundtrack of the world's greatest to the Muhammad Ali bioepic was playing on the speakers. There was a smell of fresh bagels in the air, and all around me the crowd was moving like a never-ending stream of shadows. This was the moment I would travel back to. I would go and tap on my own shoulder with a big smile. I would tell my younger self, "Welcome to America. Everything is going to be all right. Here are all the fundamentals which you need to know. The rest you'll figure it out. Be the best and see you in 20 years. I will hand myself this book and depart." Chapter 1.
Mm. Interesting. We're talking about memory and imagination, right? And you're using both there.
Mhm.
The past, looking into the past,
Yeah.
looking into the future.
So how this came about is I had prepared a presentation that I had been using for some years at my career at Microsoft, and then it was to introduce new hires to the world of working because they're just out of college, they're transitioning, and then I was invited to speak to a university. So there's a Florida students, Caribbean students community that invited me to speak at one of their conferences, and I sent them I made an outline of this and I kind of sent it, and I modified the presentation to be more tailored towards college kids. And they changed the title to be adult-ish because they thought it would have been more catchy with the kids. And let me tell you, the room was packed wall to wall. Kids were in there from everywhere, and I was just kind of talking to them about how they should be moving. And then there was 2 sessions that day. The second session was packed. The kids came back, they brought more friends, and it was just like, so it was becoming like a thing. And then he was talking to me and my friend about writing a book around these same kinds of topics. So I just sent him the PowerPoint presentation as an outline for the book. He filled in the difference. I made a pass through it, edited it, made it exactly how it should be, and we published it.
Wow. So do you later on, we will question the relevance of economic awareness and kind of business and professionalism and entrepreneurship. But as one of our etiquettes that whenever somebody calls in, we jump right in. All right, caller, thank you so much for calling Peaceology State. You're on the air. No, the person went off. The person, I guess the person went out. This one was called "The Jinping Saved My Life When COVID Came to Town." I learned to play the accordion during COVID. And most of the time, my friend Jason Morancy in Trafalgar, we call ourselves brothers because we grew up next door to each other. And for months, it took me 2 months to play Happy Birthday because I played everything by memory.
Okay.
And I've said that I'm going to give myself 5 years to be illiterate with music because I cannot sight read, and I have never had except but little primary school training in music. And I have 2 granduncles and cousins that were, heavy.
So you're trying to learn how to read music?
No, I'm not trying to learn how to read it now. I know my ancestors who did not know to read music. So I want to take a journey to play music without being able to read music for a while. And 5 years after I've been playing, basically illiterate,
right?
I want to learn to play how to learn music.
Let me tell you a story. Okay. So my mom's brother recently passed.
So yeah, that.
And thank you. And when he was passing, he wanted me to have the family piano.
Oh,
so
a baby grand or what?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Whoa,
no, not a big,
but it's that style. Yeah,
like an old school piano.
Right.
So I rented a U-Haul, made the trip, collected it, packed it up, brought it
Mm.
down to the house, and my daughter is truly fascinated by this piano, right? So,
Mm.
but this is the year is 2025.
Yeah.
So what I did is we just downloaded a piano learning app on her iPad,
Mm.
and she sits there and she hits it's guiding her which keys to hit visually,
Yeah.
and it's teaching her what each key does and why it's, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just music fundamentals. And now she's playing the piano. She's never sat with an instructor,
Yeah.
just the
Wow.
iPad, and she can play music and he can read music.
Wow.
She's
My,
not she just turned 9.
oh my goodness.
So there's hope for you, man.
Thank you, thank you. And in fact, I'm sure he's probably not going to mind I call his name. A friend of mine, actually from Florida roots, Junior Hodge, Charles Hodge. He lives in Chicago, and I brought the accordion once I came to Dominica. I left the accordion with him, and he said, that inspired him to try to learn the piano. He always wanted to play the piano. And I visit this guy, and this guy is doing exactly what your daughter has done. He and I are around the same age. He may be a little bit younger than me. No, he's a little bit younger. And he's been sitting there and going on the internet and following through. And I feel so proud of him, that he decided to put that into his time. And he's, learning how to play classically, because, and he's trying not to get into bad habits, to kind of learn that. So kudos to your daughter. And I hope she continues. Patrice, my daughter, plays about 6 instruments in different kinds of ways. It's amazing the kinds of things, if you try, what you realize you may be able to do. Well, believe it or not, we're already approaching the top of the hour, and I mean, we really have thereabout. If we left the studio a little bit early, we have just about an hour, just about 60 or 63 minutes left on our show. We want to remind you that you're listening to the big station, Q95 Radio, right here in Dominica, and this is a live show, so you can call in 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. And if you're calling on the overseas line, oftentimes United States, I think it will work from Canada or somewhere like this, 305-432-9624. You're listening to Peaceology State. I'm the founder of Peaceology, Dr. Peter K.B. St. Jean from Trafalgar. And we define Peaceology as the science and practice of low stress and high joy. When we get into the second half, Devin, one of the things I would like to invite you to come visit us up in Peaceology, up at Peaceology State in Trafalgar. I keep some extra kid in the yard, extra jelly, and now is avocado season. So you can get some of that there from the yard. Hopefully you can visit. We are building a resort there, Peaceology Acres. We have 18 acres of land. We have the rivers, valley, hills, and mountain type of vibes. So hopefully, we'll give the world a taste of low stress and high joy there. And as I indicated to you when we were flying down, one of the things I've been working with young people for a very long time, but I realized that one, you can tell me how that relates to your life and to what extent it resonates. That it said to which much is given, much is expected, right? But I believe that growing up in Trafalgar and just growing up with the type of parents I had and the type of universe that I was kind of set in, that I found a lot of happiness and purpose in giving. And I find that whenever, there's called something called corporate social responsibility. That's a fancy word, but it's a very basic thing that when companies, as they progress, they don't have to really do well, because what do well is, I don't know, right? But as companies do, it's very important to reach out and also help. And I like to find kind of organic ways, for me as a Creole person too, a Caribbean person, to think about organic ways that we can do some of those things. And, in the plane here, we talk about Kudme, and the Kudme is something in fact, St. Thomas now has such a powerful culture of Kudme that some of the biggest homes in St. Thomas are actually built by Dominicans.
Wow.
And the way, the secret, well, I won't say secret behind it, because there's no secret. Much of it is because with the Kudme system, and especially I'm talking about back in the 80s, 90s when I was mostly there, I don't know to what extent it is now. Well, in the 20s, it's still happening now because I have friends and my sister is still there. But basically, you buy a piece of land and you build a foundation that is beyond what you can afford. I mean, so it's strong, it's deep, your cistern is big, and you prepare to build on multiple levels. But the cistern and that foundation to pour, that is like oftentimes the most difficult and costly part, at least to begin for you, right? And then, so now what happens is that with the Kudme, a lot of Dominicans and St. Lucians would come, and other friends would come, and people would just get the concrete, get the material, cook some food, do some music, and before you know, you have 20, 30 hands carrying buckets up the hill or whatever. And it's amazing to see the type of structures that people build. And if you know what their profession, they might be taxi drivers. I mean, I'm not trying to assume that taxi drivers cannot be making a lot. It could be people who are working jobs that people would not imagine they built such a big house. But because of the culture of Kudme, because of the culture of people helping each other and being able to share that type of course, people build. Similarly, like the way your daughter inherited the piano, there's something that is kind of passed on to us. So actually, we're planning on the Saturday of the Creole World Creole Music Festival weekend, and that Saturday. Well, it could be any day because we'll start doing some work. We want to invite people that want to give back to help us with some work. And what the Peaceology Acres has kind of called to do is really to help people with beautifying their homes or improving their homes. We find that a local business or a home, especially some homes that are in critical parts of the community, are very telling in terms of what the rest of the community could look like. And sometimes everybody is with means, and everybody can use a little help. So actually, for those of you listening, and if you want to help out, in fact, we'll be starting, but you can contact me about helping out. We call him Shaba in Trafalgar, Dennis Kazemi, a house on the way up to where Henry George first lived in the back road to go by Ivor's shop. We're going to paint up and help with the outside, doing the painting work, a little bit of repair work on Shaba's place. And we also, there's another shop in the village, that's a man called Mr. Selwyn. Bernard George is actually owner now, and is Mr. Jewa before him, and Mr. Selwyn. From the time I'm a little boy, I always pass that place, and the guys go there, they play dominoes, and it's just like a landmark, So we're asking people to join us. The company will get the material and hopefully cook a little food, have something to drink, and and help out. We're not drinking too much now because we have to do the work right. So we are just, so part of the existence is that we have to give, we will receive, but we have to give and we have to share. But as we're about to get into right now, it's right at the top of the hour at 9:00, and we're shifted into the idea of Creole culture. And we know we've spoken, Devin, about some things that we didn't even know. Like I didn't even know about your book, and there's so much more we can talk about. But for this next hour, I really want to talk about Creole culture. Tell me what that kind of means to you. And then as you have been involved with the World Creole Music Festival, all the way to having some expectations of what's coming up. So, folks, I want to remind you again that you are listening to the big station, Q95 Radio. Your host, Dr. Peter KB St. Jean, joining you here in the studios of Q95. You can call in at 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, or from the overseas line, 305-432-9624. So let's talk about World Creole Music Festival. Tell me how you got involved in that, what you think it's doing, and what is your own little niche in terms of, because you sound like a man, you're always on a mission. You'll have a message to tell, you have a journey that you're on. So tell us all of that.
Yeah, so it was being run for a long time by Colin Piper. Prior to the current team. And Mr. Piper had reached out a few years to ask if we had any interest in hosting it. At the time, I think Giselle Astafan used to host a small VIP with riser tent kind of thing off to the side, and they're like, what can you make with this? Because he was monitoring what we had going on internationally, because we were already doing international productions. And interestingly, there was a few years we were not able to do it because they would always ask us when it's too late. And it's just, we have like a forward advanced schedule. And one year we actually took the plunge and came in to make it happen, and we really transformed it from anything that it could have been before to what it is now, where it's a high demand, internationally visible, top-notch, world-class production. And from the first year that we've done it, it's been a profit center inside of the World Creole Music Festival, which we all know is a very expensive show to produce.
What profit center was that?
It's been something that we've been able to turn a profit on
Oh, okay,
for
I
the government
understand.
of Dominica.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
So we do it well and we do it profitably.
Yeah, in Chicago, you use the word an economic engine. Yeah, like that's what McCormick Place is
Okay.
supposed to be.
Got you. Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, like whenever I look at when we're doing a production, I look at things that are cost centers
Mhm.
and I try to think of how we can turn them into being profit centers.
Nice.
For example, you look at a venue and you'll be like, okay, we need to do fencing. Fence is a cost center.
Mhm.
How can we turn the fence into a profit center? Well, maybe you can sell banner ads that you put on the fence. That's an example of how
Smart.
you can go from cost center to profit center.
Nice. I like that. You talk about it in the book too.
I haven't written a book on event production yet. That one is still very much in flight.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So tell us, because just to segue on this, I had some people, just were at places that I'm familiar with, and at Peaceology, because booked people, and people are calling me, and since in June, July, right? And I learned about the festival. I mean, I know the festival happens, and I heard of it through people that are trying to secure their place since in May, June, July of this year, right? And who are talking about the tickets. Somebody told me they're not going to come because they didn't get the tickets they wanted, and that was back in June, you know. And then I happened to say, okay, well, let me see what they're talking about, because somebody sent me the link. I didn't think I had to watch it. It was in May or something like that. And I saw, and I said to someone from Guadeloupe, why are you making all this effort? Like, what's the big deal? Not to say it shouldn't be, but also like, what is driving you so much? What is the draw to you? So, did you see the lineup? I said, well, no. So tell me how. So that is testament to me to what you mentioned. So, and it seems to be an engine that is a big engine, like whatever vehicle that's running is running a big engine, right? I know every profession has its own secrets, but it's good to hear kind of the nuts and bolts. So tell us a little bit more along that line.
Well, I don't think I have secrets. I just, like I said, I'm behind the scenes, So,
Okay.
you can ask me anything.
Okay.
So if you have a specific question, I'm happy to answer it.
Okay, yeah. But when I say secrets, I don't necessarily mean something to hide.
Right.
But there's some things that work and they're little known. They're not very widely known. That's kind of what I meant.
Yeah. So what we do with all of our work is we produce a really fantastic experience. It's not just a tent, a bar, some food and some drinks. It's a whole hosting experience. So the first year we did it, we called it the Village. And someone famously said, who the hell wants to be a VIP in a village?
Who wouldn't want to be?
So what we actually did, right, is we went around Dominica and we went to all of our favorite spots. Boydie's, Biggs, anything for you, baby, Mom's, Orchards, you name it. And we brought all of those restaurants inside of the VIP grounds.
Ooh.
So now you can have, the flying fish, the fried fish, the bakes, the this, the that. You having it here. You don't have to go and run around Dominica to try and find it and hope that they're open. Or, so you just know that you're getting that. And we don't advertise all of the things that we're putting in there. There's a lot of, those are the surprises. When you come, you'll see what the surprise is. But we've really put the essence of Dominica inside of the grounds of the World Creole Music Festival. And not only that, right? We have all your favorite treats inside of the VIP. So you can find tamarind ball, coconut cakes, tarts, tablets. I mean, just all the little ice pop. Last year we had a whole roasted suckling pig on the grounds. So you're seeing it being roasted and then it's ready and then it's time to eat. And we have lots of activations with all different types of food and energy and stuff. And you're really eating more than one time for the night. So what we found is as time goes on, people come early. So instead of trying to go to dinner and then come to the festival, you just get ready and come to the festival. Have dinner. Have some performances, have some drinks, have another later meal, have some coffee, have some cocoa, have some popcorn, sit and watch the show from the amphitheater.
So it's like an event. It's more than just coming, because sometimes people have parties and afterwards they want to go to McDonald's, because they feel they didn't get what they want.
No, you
They
leave in there with you leave in there very, very much satisfied.
satisfied.
Yeah.
That's a
Then
good
then we have a
concept.
breakfast. So this year in particular, the show is going to run later. We have a breakfast planned. So there will be a nice breakfast every single
Ah.
night. We think about the little details that it would take to make sure that you have a fantastic experience.
Mm.
In some of our areas we may have shoes for ladies so that you can switch
Wow.
from heels to flats.
So what space is used like throughout the time? What spaces are used, or is just one space?
Sure. So we have the entire left side of the stadium, and we activate as
Left
many.
meaning north. We're facing north, and where's left? Left from where?
It's facing the stage.
Okay.
I don't know exactly.
Okay, no problem.
I
From
think
from the
the
bleachers.
stage is.
Okay.
I think the stage is facing south.
Okay. So if you're sitting at the bleachers for the
Southwest.
most part, because
So bleachers.
you kind of
If
circle.
you're facing the stage,
Okay.
we are on the left side of the stage.
Okay, I got it. That's simple enough. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's on the right side?
The right side of the stage is OPM, Office of the Prime Minister. So
Oh.
he has a separate activation that he does there for his delegation.
Okay, that's understandable. Okay. All right, and then so on the left side, this whole you call it a village? What do you call it?
VIP grounds. So there's a misconception. Everybody calls it VVIP, but we actually have 3 different levels of VIP. So we have PVIP, which is for party VIP.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, VVIP the first time it stood for Village VIP.
Okay.
But I guess it
sounds like
very, very. It's village. It could be village or very, very, depending. We don't say.
Oh, okay.
And then as of last year, we have a new one we recently introduced, which is Ultra VIP.
What's that?
Ultra VIP, we took it to a whole new level, literally. So we have a risen sky deck that's about 15 feet in the air. So there's nothing between you and the stage.
Wow.
And up there you have your own private chef that's cooking live on site.
Whoa.
You have couches and chairs to sit on. You have tables to sit and eat on. You have staff that's up there handing you whatever you'd like to have. You don't have to leave your area to go and get it. It's there. We have a concierge that's dedicated to you. Now, I mean, there's no secret we've been having troubles with the sea and some swells and the ferries. Our concierge has been helping some of our Ultra VIP guests reroute their flights and travel arrangements. We've curated some very special location sites and things to see around Roseau and Dominica. We've gotten some coupons for some of our Ultra VIP guests.
Wow.
We arrange VIP tickets for them to enter certain fringe events around. So, we really provide a end-to-end hands-on VIP service that is world-class.
Wow. That's it's fascinating to hear those details. Folks, are we gonna take a break? I mean, if Patrice were here, she would chastise me for not having played any music now, because she said people listen to the radio to hear music too, Daddy. You don't have to talk all the time. So we'll listen to one from Masper. We'll get a little surprise here. So Lambi, whenever you're ready, just give us a little piece of Delmon's Rasmo Moses right here. I'm going to Africa. What I find out here, I will bring a gift for you. I will bring a gift for you. I will bring a talking rock. I will bring a teenage rock. I will bring a junior rock. I will bring a Starbucks rock. For you, for you, for you, for you, for you. I will bring a drunk for you. For you, for you, for you, for you, for you. I will bring a drunk for you. So, in case you did not know, this album is called Bel Cado. That was Rasmo's last album. It means a beautiful gift. And I remember speaking to his wife, Kathy. And Kathy, whether you're listening to the show or you hear the show later on, thank you so much for allowing us to use Rasmus' music here on Peaceology State. And as I offered to do, to give him credit for the song every time that we play. Thank you so much for allowing us to use the music. David, you may not know that Rasmus and I are actually first cousins. We are
Oh,
children of brother and sister.
okay.
You know, and Singuela Bromkus Williams, which is one of our cousins, and we
Gotcha.
have a
Okay.
bunch of other family members. Helen Morin. A whole, if I were to start calling names out, go down a whole list of names. Those in Mont Prosper, Grayson family. Those in the Gotter Village area from Uncle Eustace and others. All over. And my father's Bennett Seja from Trafalgar and Rasmus' uncle. And I remember after Rasmus passed, and I was talking to Kathy because the album was not yet mixed and mastered and was not out. So she was not trying to do that so it could actually hit the market. And she said that song, the gift of the drum and playing the drum. It's so much of what Rasmus was, kind of a different indirect way of telling you what he's telling you directly and indirectly at the same time, using some playfulness and so on. So this is one of my favorite songs of his because of the artistic presentation that he gives in the song, and the whole idea of us as the people we are, but the cruel aspect of our existence, and the bouillon component as well, the ability to do things with other things and to have things mix up in ways that are not very apparent. So you said you play the piano.
Hmm.
How are you how I want to say how well you play, but you play the band, you compose music. What do you
No,
do?
no, no. I've just played in practice. I learned to play the piano at with actually Valley Later,
Mm,
right up Independence Street on the hill.
okay.
At she had a well, as you know, the Laters are a very musical family.
Mhm.
So I grew up playing the piano there with her.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So
So I
you
just
guys.
play, sheet music that I've learned.
Mm.
I never played live or anything like that.
Ah, okay. Well, maybe one day you will. Like you told me, there's hope for me. I think there's
Yeah,
hope
yeah,
for you
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. It's possible. It's possible.
So I know it sounds like your entrance into the World Creole Music Festival production and the great work that you're doing of leading something that is profit driven, fun driven, cultural driven,
Yes.
thinking of people's health and people's pockets and all kinds of things. So you could have said no because it sounds to me that you're pretty busy. You could have done other things. You didn't have to take this on. But what does the World Career Music Festival mean to you as a product beyond its economic possibilities? In the sense that it's, what is it? What is to you, what is Creole? Why is that festival important?
So I think that Dominica is undiscovered.
Mm,
And I think that if you come to Dominica with a genuine spirit and peaceful mindset,
mm,
you will absolutely fall in love with Dominica.
mm,
And like I told you, I grew up here.
mm,
I've lived here until I went to university, and I'm here all the time.
mm,
And when I'm here, you're not going to find me just, you know, at home. You will find me at the river, at the beach, at the
mm,
waterfall, in some lake or canyon or something. I'm
mm,
really all over the island, enjoying the island at its essence, its core,
mm,
hot springs, you name it, right? And I really try to evangelize this to anybody who's coming to Dominique. I think the Creole Festival is, it's around our independence time.
mm,
It is, in fact, in my opinion, the most repatriated time for diaspora to come home,
mm,
more so than Carnival. It's much more prominent that way. It's a
mm,
much more enjoyable and kind of a easier pace than Carnival. Carnival is just like jam, jam, jam. This is more like just take it
mm,
easy, relax. Lots of food. All of the food that you would get at like Christmas time is available around.
mm.
You can even get sorrel now. I've been offered sorrel a few times
Mhm,
since I've been here.
mhm,
So I think it's a great time to be here and experience the culture. My friends who have been here. So a few years ago, I invited DJ Private Ryan to come.
mhm,
He's one of the most well-known soca DJs, and he was playing. He was headlining the festival, and he actually took it upon himself to design an outfit that was a madras.
mm,
And we had done a media tour with him, so where he was going around doing and seeing and tasting and all of the things that we were talking about just now.
mm,
And we had a few people. He had a media team kind of with him. And one of the people one day on Creole Day, when he put on he actually had two madras outfits made, one for
mm.
Creole Day and then one for his performance on stage.
Wow.
So on Creole Day, he wore his madras, and one of the people we were with, she's like, "Okay, if you want to go to town looking like a picnic table, that's cool."
Oh my goodness.
Because she didn't
She
know,
didn't know
she
it
didn't
was.
really understand, but he understood the
Oh
assignment.
my goodness. Yeah.
That's one of the things that makes him really great. He really takes his time to understand the culture.
Mm,
And that day, she got to understand a lot more about our culture. And
nice.
she came back the following year, and she had a madras of her own. So
Ah,
now we have these foreigners coming to Dominica, looking
yes.
forward to our Creole celebration,
Nice.
looking
Nice.
forward to the Creole lunch and the kalaloo and
Yes.
the crab and the sancoch and all that stuff. They're looking forward to the
To
hospitality and just catching up and
mm,
the lime and just the peaceful way of living that we have here. Everybody's so jubilant.
yes. So it sounds to me that there seems to be a definition in some people's mind about at least what that slice of Creole, because they imagine if they come here for some time, they're getting a good portion of the culture, right?
Mhm.
And so they have an idea of all of the things that you have listed. In your mind, when you think about the product that you're creating, and
Yes.
it's tied to World Creole, right? The music
Yes.
festival comes, and you think about our history, like I said, our past, our future, our potential now. What is Creole or Creole culture to you as you think about the branding
It's
of the
everything.
product?
It's everything. So for me, it's not, Creole is a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
I am creating a product out of Dominica without changing it.
Mm.
You know?
Catalyst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So you're
Yeah,
coming
nice.
for this. This is the raw,
Mm.
unfiltered experience. This is
Mm.
what Dominica is really like.
Mhm. So how do you operationalize that in terms of like your package? I know you have from ultra
Mhm.
to Was it ultra? Was the spectrum?
PVIP, VVIP, and Ultra VIP.
And ultra VIP, and you have regular entrance, right? That's is there another?
Well, there's regular general admission to the festival.
General admission, so like general admission, right?
Yes.
So when if somebody is coming to Dominica the first, second, third time or whichever, and they want to have that experience, but they also want to live as much of it as they can at your place,
Yes.
at the festival, what intentional product development are you putting into like the active time and the rest time, or the with you time and not with you time? How does that? I mean, I know you can dictate what they do, but how does the planning go that maybe allows them to see other aspects of Dominican Creole beyond what they will certainly enjoy at the festival?
Sure. So what we do at the festival when we have them as captive is, supercharge their experience, right? It's like we've made it very concentrated. Everything that you would, not everything, but a lot of what you would need to experience as part of our culture, you will get on the grounds. And then, like I said, in terms of our ultras this year, one of the things we also did is we gave them a booklet that was, this is how you experience Dominica in your free time.
Wow.
Last year, we actually did an excursion with the ultras as well. And we took them on a day by boat to Secret Beach, and we had a secret lunch, and that was nice and different. We did a little tour up the Indian River. So we didn't do that this year because the show schedule is a little bit too long. We felt people would need to rest. But, we really are very quite passionate about making sure people discover and understand what Dominica is. And if I can control more time outside of just inside, then we create more of those experiences as well. We're no strangers to doing multiple different types of experiences in the midst of a festive season.
Okay, good.
So even during this festive season, we have had 3 events while supporting others. We just came from a very festive season where we supported Dominica as well. In Miami Carnival, where we had a very busy season as well. We represented Dominica as well in St. Lucia.
Nice.
I represent Dominica everywhere I go.
Good. I think I do the same. I try my best, both in intentionality and just in regular life. So good. Thanks for being that type of organic ambassador.
The thing that I will say, which is challenging, is exporting the Dominican accent. I find it is quite challenging to do.
What do you mean by that? Break it down.
We use a lot of Creole in our dialect.
Okay.
And if you're speaking to a non-English person in a very heavy Dominican accent and with Creole dialect, you just lose them immediately. So that one is harder to spread. That one you can only really get here, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because for me, I'm a university professor of sociology as my primary profession, and I'm a dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. And we have the humanities, social sciences, we have the art people, we have the science people. So now I have both students, staff, and faculty members from many different countries. And the same thing you're talking about accent. What I have learned to do is just get, like sometimes you can text someone and they make some typos, but you still get the message, right? So sometimes you just stop editing because when you edit it, they say, I understood what you meant, right?
Yeah.
So it almost becomes a culture. Maybe before texting, our brains were not wired so much so to try to understand and read between the lines, because otherwise we just criticize someone maybe for if they sent you a letter and they didn't spell a word correctly, maybe that will be an issue. But if it's a text, you understand that somebody may have been may have been on the move. So it seems that students have written in their evaluation that they have never had an experience where it's like if the professor says something like that, said, adjust your ears so you can understand me. And they adjusted the ears and they understood me. And they have no idea what they just did or what I just said.
Right.
But it worked because then they were thinking that the difficulty isn't what I was saying, but then they realized they have the power to adjust. So I think
Well,
something
I
there.
think that there's a slight adjustment. And
Yes.
even listening to both of us on the radio, I'm sure Dominicans would say we sound like we have a little bit of foreign experience, right? But
Yes, yeah, for sure.
so my way that I speak has changed slightly, but I think it is still very much authentically West Indian.
Yes, I
And
agree.
I there was a point in time where I found myself, like early in my career, I found myself yanking. I
Mm.
was like, nah, nah, nah,
I just like to sound
nah,
fake, right?
nah.
Like,
This is
you're
not it.
like let it grow on its own. You
Nah,
don't have to, yeah, you're not
no.
trying to enjoy
I
it.
let them misunderstand me.
Yeah, yeah, let them have it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. I don't know. I try to listen to myself now and then, but I think I sung the way I sung whenever. I mean, I have to admit, if I am in a boardroom and there are no Caribbean folks and so on, I'll adjust a bit. But there's so far I can go because even these days I'm walking around with my passport in the United States because I'm a black man, sung the way I sung. It doesn't matter if I'm a decorated veteran, if I've served in the United States military, the classified work, it doesn't matter all of that. I mean, after I have a busted head and the lawyer, maybe they can find out that this you got the wrong guy. But meanwhile, I travel my documentation, because I know the way I sung and I cannot cover up too much of it. Hey, everybody, listen up. Thank you so much for listening. We have someone, Greg, hey, is telling us, good evening, Dr. Peter St. Jean. Good evening, Greg, and thanks for listening. We also live on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, you can go to Q95 Radio, YSQ95 Radio, and find the page and leave some comments. We're always happy to get comments. And again, it's a live call-in show. We're listening to Peaceology State on the 20th of October of the year 2025. Here on the big station, Q95 449 3095, 449 3096, 449 3097. On the overseas line, you can reach us at 305 432 9624. And anytime you're calling, we'll entertain your conversation. Devin, a lot of folks have told me, Doc, not because we don't call the show, that mean we're not listening. And somebody would be surprised. Some people just say they're enjoying the conversation. They just want to hear the conversation. There are a lot of shows we can call in to, and we don't mind saying something. But if we're enjoying the conversation, we're just enjoying the conversation. And the time here on our station, the time is not free with business. The way that we have gone before, I just happen to feel, I'm not saying that I will reject any paid commercial sometime down the road, but I just enjoy the possibility of being able to bring to the ear something I want to talk about, something I
Sure.
enjoy. And there are a lot of small businesses like your Place Brunch and Brunch in Trafalgar, at Sandrin's Place, Peanuts Bar. We have different places in Loda, Watton, Trafalgar. I even there are a lot of places, like even tonight I'm gonna go to Lucia's place in Lubia. I like some fish and two dry mix. That's my thing. I'd like, I there's a spot. I went there today, the lunch was over. They had no lunch, it was even 2 o'clock.
Mhm.
And I don't think it's in bad light, but there's right by Astafan, the warehouse there, and where Domlek is, there's a place that sells some food. There's some twins that work there, and there's some nice food by my boy. There's so many places. There's some places in the Rosa Market, the Cassava Man. Like there's so much that we experience as we go through Dominica that help us, enlighten our taste board, enlighten our minds. And I love to have the opportunity to just be able to give a shout out to some places like the Do It Center, like Maximum, Max Roy, all of those places that give us good customer service. And whenever we try to do something to help the community, we'll try to also help us to reach out in that regard. And the LA Dupini and company, I really enjoy the kind of customer service that I get there. And I feel blessed to be able to thank them, even not because they paid me. I'm not saying there's anything wrong in a commercial. I love to do some commercial sometime, but really like the opportunity. So I just wanted to take this break and give a shout out to those local business people. And it's amazing how the local shop means so much to the community. The shopkeepers, the people, the farmers, the people, the civil servants who work so hard and give so much to help our communities as they go. We're going to take another break. We're going to hear another song from Rasmo. And then when we come back, Devin, I want you to tell us a little bit about the time span. You said that the schedule may be a little bit long in terms of the lineup. Tell us
Mhm.
a little bit about who's going to be which days and who's going to be performing and
Sure.
some of those highlights when we come back from this break. All right, Lambi, hook us up with a little Rasmo here on the big station.
Unofficial anthem. Yes, my people, I'm sure you heard that I took a trip all around the world to find the world, its country. So I report, it's no apology that number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one in the culture and the music. Music drumming me to kill sick. Dominical, up here not yo. Singing as I kill the music, Erasmo. Number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one. If you are a proud Dominican, in the era, wave a flag, wave your honey. The Caribbean's beautiful Cinderella with one river for the day of the year. The world's greatest Creole festival, cheating quadrille, dark canal, wildlife and greenery, everyone come next door, this is an hospitality. Number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say Dominic say number one. Let's say you condamné, qui méprisé, qui fait yon mal parlé, yon salita yon fait, mais yon bagaille, yon pas ça changer, ça nous connaît, c'est la vérité. Number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one. One copy come on your play, please do let's have attention. C'est quoi les plans de Jaco, Cyber Ville Roto, la Pouchinka Chakou, Ataka Sibeku, son Fadil Westry, son Kota Bichi, Westika Soupouye, après d'un bien, avec les Sanji Model, on fait Jamba Natel, la Fibro TV, si on a bien Siri, on y a fait pas tant de Allez, pas ta foi, oui, ça c'est marrant, la numéro syndrome, Libya, Venezuela, Botswana, Western Africa, Jordan, Kurdish people, Tantan, Water and Sime, don't make a pay, that's the now one shall kill, Mongolian got a good kill, I can see it from a say, I'm giving that man Wabe, don't you know that I say, don't talk to the ballet, never fight and so bad, you haven't teach me yet, so one John, they got 10 man, elle vil rendre Tali, on s'en peut moi cette gallion, pour les disques Jallion, si c'est Dominicain, et de l'homme ouais chanter, si c'est Dominicain, et de l'homme ouais chanter. Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one, Dominic say number one.
Yes, number one, Dominique said number one. I remember when Rasmo sent me the draft of that song. I was at the time just producing one of my documentaries, and there's a clip of it. I don't think I ever showed the whole one, the whole piece on. Well, I showed the whole piece in different locations, but on YouTube there's "Peaceful Dominica Prospects and Concerns," and I think I'm running this song and maybe running the credits. But I remember when Rasmo sent me the draft of that song. I said, Rasmo, can I put that in the movie? He said, sure. Uh, and he really believed that. And I don't know. Every time I hear the song, I try to find a village that I didn't hear him mention, or a section. But even if he didn't mention, even Tetmon Lale, Guabe, so even sections of a village, Tyrus Pit, Gota Village, Monjon River Sirik. It seemed like he just went down and to skillfully be able to have the names of the village, the communities in the song. That's a gift, or bel cadeau, voy. So again, we are back at the big station, Q95 Radio, 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. And for those who may want to call us on the overseas line, we are 305-432-9624. And you can also see us live on Facebook. We are here at Peaceology State. Devin Sedler, who's been telling us a lot about what is going on in terms of the type of work he does, the journey that he has taken, and the excellent piece of production that is called the World Creole Music Festival, and in its various formats. So Devin, tell us a bit about, for those who are, whether they're in general admission or they're in ultra VIP, we would like to get a sense about how you spread out, how the schedule is spread out. Like if somebody wants to come, what is a good time for them to show up, and what is a good time for them to expect to leave? So as they plan their various days, and what dates, remind us of the dates again. And then
Sure. So the festival gates open, I think, nightly 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And it goes until the last artist finishes beating that last drum, right? So it is a daybreak. I think we know by now it's a daybreak. You go to see the sunrise at least twice.
Oh wow. Okay. Good.
Yeah. So I think on Saturday after Friday night, we'll probably be done maybe like around 10 a.m. And then the following day, I know they have a longer schedule as well. So I anticipate we'll go quite past 10 a.m. on Sunday morning.
So starting at 8 p.m. into like about 13 hours or something. Well, more than that in that particular case.
Yeah. So it's a long show, but it's a great show. This year we have a lot to look forward to.
So does someone need to leave the stadium for anything? Well,
anything like what?
Well, okay, sorry, yeah. Not except an emergency, or I mean, if they want to nap, they can do that anyway.
Well,
I mean, they need to eat, they need to catch a breather.
No. If you need to catch a breather, we have places to sit. Okay. We have places to lay. You can catch a nap in the Ultra VIP amphitheater. Also in the VVIP amphitheater, you can nap there. I guess you could nap in Ultra if you really wanted to. There's lots of food and drink all over. So I mean, I think it's an atmosphere that promotes the, moving around or sitting, standing, whatever makes you most comfortable. Like one of the things that we talk about a lot for the VIP is that it kind of changes the status quo, where you go to a show and you're just standing there looking up all night, and then your back starts to hurt you. There's much more to kind of do. So it allows for that fatigue to not set in. You find that you can have a bit more longevity.
So I don't know how much data you gather.
All of the data
I've gathered. So among the ultra, the VIP from the different levels.
Sure.
What kind of demographics? Well, they're mostly Dominicans. It's what type of trends? Are there any kind of trends you see in who's where?
I think that the people who come to VIP is a subset of the people who come to the festival. So the same kind. I think the makeup is very similar to what you would find in general. You would find young, old, short, tall, fat, skinny. Like everything is. It's a good mix of just the normal Dominican crowd that you would see. Now, during this time, as we said, we know we have a lot of people traveling in, a lot of diaspora, but we also have a lot of visitors. We have people coming in from all over. One of the most highly visited places for us is Guadeloupe and Martinique, the neighboring French islands. Then there's St. Lucia, Antigua, and then we come up the islands, St. Vincent, Grenada, etc. We have quite a bit of people who visit from those places. But apart from that, is predominantly the United States and the United Kingdom.
And then so you have a mix. you have a representation of maybe all people in all sections, basically, is what I'm understanding.
Yes.
And I wonder, well, I guess besides the ticket price, I wonder what motivates someone. Have you ever spoke to any person? Well,
Sure.
I've told you my intentions,
Sure.
and
Sure.
we'll keep that between us from now. But when you talk to people, do you have a sense of people who may have a certain type of proclivity as to why they want a certain package, as to what they're looking for?
Yeah. So, year one, we had to really sell it. Like, we had to
Mm.
really sell it. People didn't know what it could be.
Mm.
After year one, people know what it is. So if you've experienced it, you're coming back because you know what it is. You know what it's worth. Right. And then there's a thing that people say now, it's VIP or nothing. Now general admission is fantastic. I've spent a lot of time in general admission, and it's because of the quality of the show that the Dominica Festival Committee puts on. It's a fantastic show. Sound and lighting, amazing. But then when you add in all of the niceties on top of it that we discussed, it just becomes something that you would rather have. It's not a need, it's a want. And some people decide to splurge.
So where does the responsibility or the domain or jurisdiction, if you will, of Radiant start and stop? Like at some point you begin, that's your responsibility. At some point your responsibility ends, even if you're part of a bigger production, because that's the only thing that's going to make it workable, right? They're part of an organ.
Sure. So we have our integration points with the festival production, which is where we will get sound from them, and we will get some lighting from them, and we will get a connection from the live feeds that's on stage that feeds directly into the very large LED screen that we have inside of the amphitheater. Apart from that, there's a clear delineation between the regular grounds, OPM's grounds, and our grounds. And we are responsible for everything on our grounds. We are responsible for the full management, start to finish, marketing, welcome, hospitality, check-in, security, everything. And Dominica is, as we say, not a real place, right? So you got to kind of make it work the way you can make it work. But we do every single thing from scratch. Our team does it. Everything.
And I presume there's some advantages to that, right? So at least you have your touch points on the main things. And if you want to outsource, you can, but at least you can set up the blueprint and carry it out.
The staff that we have now, we've trained them from scratch. We have to do something as simple as like ice. We have to stockpile for months.
Wow. Months.
Yes.
Start because you wow.
Would you drink hot drinks?
If it's a hot drink,
would you drink a hot drink?
If it's a hot
I'm not
chocolate,
drinking it.
If it's a hot chocolate.
After all. Yes.
Yeah, I know, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if we drink in rum, it needs to be cold. If we're eating food, it needs to be hot.
A hot kubul, hot carry about
No.
that.
No. So like we take all of those things into account. We have to get all of our staff health certified, everything. So we get them, so down the line, every single thing we manage, it's a lot to manage.
So even now you have ice sitting waiting and been piling up. Not like you're waiting 2 nights before the show to see where you get ice.
No. I mean, imagine you try and buy ice now from somewhere and have all these little jams going on. You just can't get it.
Yeah. That pushes things.
No, we are very much into advanced planning and production. So like during the show, we're not working per se, we're hosting. The work would have happened before we open the gate. And then we make sure that people are having a good time inside of the grounds.
So now who arranges who plays when? Who's
Oh, we have very little control over, or none actually, control over who's playing when.
So that's outside of
no, that is just that is at the discretion of the Dominica Festivals Committee.
Okay.
Which we are not.
Do you? I'm not asking you to speak for them.
Sure.
But even as you do your product, you have to have some understanding. Do you get a sense of themes for different days, or it's probably
I think that is a topic. That is a whole radio station program. That is something that should be spoken about at length. I think they've done quite well, and they've had some really top tier acts, and I think that the programming is remarkable. But I do see some opportunity for improvement.
Okay.
Like for example, this year we have Vibes Cartel. There's no question Vibes Cartel is the hottest Caribbean act on the planet right now. But then it kind of puts a little bit of a damper on Saturday and Sunday. Like everybody wants to go to the Saturday show. Like
when is he's performing
on Saturday.
Okay.
So from my perspective, it's a 3-day festival. We should have 3 headliners of the same caliber.
Oh, is there a match for him? Is there
not in reggae dancehall, but
okay, yeah.
There's matches in other genres.
Nice. Okay.
There's no other match in dancehall. They have Massacre on Friday. Amazing. But Massacre does not compare to Cartel.
So those are the kinds of things you're thinking about. It's
I have some ideas.
That's good. And are people, those who are outside of your domain, are they receptive to some of your ideas? Or have you been able to share enough time to share them, or you mostly been working on making your things happen?
We have not discussed it yet.
Okay, well, I guess maybe an opportunity will be there, and hopefully I can get a chance, even if it's afterwards, to those who are like you in other domains. It'd be nice to have a conversation with them about the logic of selection. We can talk off air about who might be the most appropriate people.
Yeah,
all in a way of sharing good ideas and trying to make something beautiful even more beautiful.
Yes, exactly. So for me, we do our own shows, we do our own festivals. So I'm familiar with doing all of it, top to bottom. But here in Dominica, we just focus on the VIP activation.
Oh, okay. So that's your main thing there.
Well, for that show, we also have another. It's not on the scale of the Creole Festival by any means, but we have a pretty big carnival fete called Viva la Carnival, which happens Carnival Saturday.
Where?
Yeah. Last year we had it at the Canefield Airport.
Oh, in Dominica.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, I remember. I remember being stuck in the traffic. On the side, so I wasn't sure what was happening. I was happened to be driving. I was like, okay, I wonder if I should go there and check it out, but I wasn't sure.
You should come check it out, man. Have a good time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll. It seems. It's all the way going up at Kinfield. I'll figure out a way to park or jump on one of my bikes or something and go down there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yes. Well, that's so interesting that we can talk about a production like a real production, right? Because in production we have the production, we have post-production, and productions are actually components inside of components, like putting things in buckets in bins. You know what I mean? So that's how the beautiful mosaic happens, and it's very important to talk about the kind of the behind the scene. I know what time, can you believe it? We have on the clock only 12 more minutes, really just more than the 10 more minutes we actually have here in studio. I wanted to ask you, for the young people, or young is as long as you're alive, who probably wonder what you do and want to do something like what you do. What would you tell them you call it, and what type of advice would you give them to prepare themselves?
I think the most important thing throughout my life has been, in terms of advancement of my career, has been peer mentorship. Find somebody you respect that you can relate to, who can help guide you along your path. That's one of the things that I think has benefited me a lot. I've been blessed to have peer mentors that you can be completely honest and transparent with about your successes and your shortcomings. And you kind of use that as a yardstick to measure each other, and then to also help make each other better. The other thing I would say is share openly and honestly. I think we hold back too much information. If you share more information, then you'd be surprised it can help you to get different perspectives on just interesting problems that you're trying to solve.
Sounds like we have a caller. Caller, thank you for calling Peaceology State. It's Dr. Sejan. Thank you for joining us.
Good night, Mr. Caesar.
Good night, sir.
And good night to you, the gentleman.
Good night. Good night. How are you?
I'm very delighted to hear your speech, Mr. Caesar. I will tell you something, sir. I think we in 2025, but the way you speak, like you're like the Chinese, you are way ahead, like you are in 2028. So it's very hard for the people to catch up with you, sir.
Really? Tell me, what do I need to speak slower? I need to use different words? Help me out. What do I need to say? That's I don't want to lose anybody.
Advancement is like the Chinese. They always have two years ahead of the whole other world.
Oh.
So his advancement is very far gone. So we very slow when they come to pick up. But I'm still glad of his education and what he's doing for the World Creole Festival.
Okay.
Our people will get there. Our people will get there because They never teach us all those things at high school, at primary school. They never teach us about commerce, use the resources that is around us, like what you just saying there, even our musicians, our talent, to make it an industry for us. As you say, Mr. Caesar, there, what you want to do in water waving. If you look at what the people of water waving have done already, I think I told you that people like Tikwe, Tiaz, June, and there are one or two other little people with Hot Star, how they can take their hands and develop a product with the resources without damaging it. So I want to tell him one of the things I would like somebody like he to do. There are some local people on the ground in Dominica. I don't know if you know about Webb Murray. He's a Calypsonian, down from Cali, BC. He do a lot of world traveling magazine, like clips, documentary movies. I think one of the things we should do, Mr. Caesar, something you can think about, is to document a film of the World Creole Festival every year. I mean, we don't have the technology now to go to Hollywood, but, we can do it manually, some of them things you can download them on a flash drive, we have the whole technology there. Because, when you save on a phone, you can lose the phone, but for safety, like a flash drive and other things where you can save your flame. Because look at Jamaica, you can notice what really pushed Jamaica is some of those reggae sunsplash they do in the 80s.
Okay.
And even not too long, I think they do how you call that, the restructure they had at the Comet, and it was a movie that they done since in the 70s, but they see the value of it. So that's one of the things, and I would really want to see him, like you talk about the VIP. It's something we're supposed to do all over the island. Like our local food, you leave the airport and you're coming down to Roseau. You're supposed to stop by, as Dr. Caesar said there, in a little bamboo bar and just drink something, coffee, like what the gentleman was saying, the kaku tea, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something the visitors never taste in their life. Because I work in tourism, like I used to serve the cruise people that come on the cruise ship at the Jacko waterfalls, but I was not selling like the other vendors, like the dry clothes and those things. I was selling fruits, like mangoes, sugarcane. And you have to teach some of these visitors just to chew a piece of sugar cane. They never chew a piece of sugar cane in their life.
That's true.
Yeah, so those little simple things. But something I really want them to do is to compose a frame that could help to sell the products, like our World Creole Festival. And what he's talking about there is and I really like this product. But it's just too advanced. That is the thing. We have a lot of intelligent people around, but Dominica, because of the slowness, people, when they come here with the advancement, it's hard for us to catch up. Because I do a training with the European Union. I think Mr. Williams, the former president, he do a training with us for small business, which come from under the European Union program. People like Mackenzie, Sabre Mackenzie, Cold Pot Soup. A lot of us do a training there. We get certificate. But that was a European Union program. So that's some of the things we need. And thank you for his education. But something you have to think of. Think of that. Even our great legends that was around, like the people that created the World Creole Festival, like Mr. Timothy and Mr. Julius Gregor, they should have more billboards and TV screens and our great icons, man, like Mr. Lebla, them to educate the people, because some people come for the education too.
So, you make so much sense. I really, really thank you for calling. Thanks a lot, brother. Thanks a lot. I think the caller, I just let him go because he, some people call you, they call the show, and you wonder if they're listening to the show. It's good that they call. But then they, call something else. And some people, like with this, you could tell that he substantively listened. And in fact, I even wrongly understood him in the beginning when he was saying that, because I thought he was talking about me, right? And then I realized we're probably talking about both of us. But when he mentioned that, and actually, he actually articulated something maybe even a little better than I would have articulated myself. Because I'm sitting next to you, and I'm hearing you tell me about you're going to go to a show and don't have your back is not going to hurt, right? So that's the kind of stuff he's talking about, right? And then I said to you, how do you operationalize that in the show? And you have an answer. So I mean, we are two Dominicans, you understand?
Right.
And I mean, we there are a lot of, and if you just have a regular rum shop or a little cabaret conversation with somebody, it's amazing the kind of brilliance that you find, whether you have shoes on or not, or whether you shirt button or not, or whether you dread or not, right? And I think these are the kinds of conversations we need to have so we can continue to celebrate the brilliance of our people. And I feel so honored to sit next to you and the gentleman kind of express that same thing with the brilliance that comes. And I really want to continue to encourage you that in spite of the fact that you have a world stage, leave a slice, the best slice of your heart for Dominica. To really the creativity that you have, leave a best slice of a creativity for our people, because every young person and in between from here to the end is worth that investment, and they have a little bit of you in them. And I find that sometimes difficult things that I want to communicate, when I find those young fellas and people in Trafalgar, the young ones, Lola area along Trafalgar, whether they're Silver Lake, whether they're Tarish Street, whether they're Grand Bay, I find that some of the local people I'm able to translate. I have less points to make to translate something that is very difficult to understand to them, because the feeling that they already have as a Dominican, the love, they already have for nation, for people, whatever it is that's not spoken, is already embedded. And it's really a great privilege to be there with you. I know what time I've kind of lined up, or I've wound up, so I'm going to give you the last minute to say anything you want to say, courtesy as we get out of the studio.
Sure. Well, I mean, time flies when you're having fun, right?
For sure.
I think we could do it for another couple more hours. But
for sure, yeah.
So what he's saying, I think he may discover that we've done some of the things that he's asking for.
Mm-hmm.
We do actually package a film where we take people around the island to understand what it is, and show you that there's this festival happening behind the scenes that one of the best festivals you've never heard of yet. Like I said, I really do believe we're largely undiscovered. When people discover this, it will, we may have more than catalysts.
Yes. Actually, I'm going to propose, not that both of us are not busy enough to do, but as two authors, I would propose, when I make it, I tell you I'm not sure how much of the festival I want to make. I actually want to do some ethnography and write a piece that we can even consider for something in a book.
Okay,
so to tell some of that, because I think we have to capture some of the present to share with our people. You know,
for sure.
Well, Lambi, thank you for having us here and being in the studio with us, folks. Thank you for listening. You're listening to Peaceology State, the 20th of October of the year 2025. Thanks for listening to the big station. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Thanks again, David.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Si voisin ou cabane malamli, no maye transmet genti, ça c'est la vie moderne, sorti des cabanes maloué, bouillé à la fiesta, yo kadi. Tani problemi, tani problemi, tani problemi, tani problemi, sa yo kadi. Tani problemi, tani problemi, tani problemi, tani problemi. Maman politique, maman nation, division politique, division religion. Ça fait une mauvaise situation qui se détruit de votre nation et quand Dieu a dit, il a ni problème, il a ni problème, il a ni problème, il a ni problème. Il a dit, il a ni problème, il a ni problème, il a ni problème, il a ni problème. Bon, là, t'es mon cas, super. Maladie, nous ponions en misère. Car c'est bon, mon épi, mon poulet. Ça, c'est pour faire des bonnes mon colère. Et t'as dit, t'as ni problème, t'as ni problème, t'as ni problème, t'as ni problème. Si ça y est, t'as ni problème, t'as ni problème, t'as ni problème, t'as ni problème. Bon, là, bate from captain, morning no say your captain. You are said again today. Banu la beta principeta yo kati. Danibo blemi danibo blemi danibo blemi danibo. Isa yo kati. Danibo blemi danibo blemi danibo blemi danibo. No problem. No sueso. I'm one jela. Mama la say you can so say from here boy you come to the man and I get to where they quiet. It's beyond really move. Danibo blemi danibo blemi danibo blemi danibo. Isa yo kati. Danibo blemi danibo blemi danibo blemi danibo blemi. Pani problem, 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 pani problem. For the sake of the next generation, reduce the carbon emission. Atan la me kaule, atan la de sole. Atan la me kaule, atan la de sole. Last evening I take a walk. Me and Ocean had a talk. Ocean say, Bob, what's your role? Seems things getting out of control. There's pollution everywhere, and the water and the air. Listen to what I've got to say. Spread my message from today. Atan la me kaule, atan la de sole. Ocean say go to river, have a little talk with her. So I lay on riverbed where I rest my weary head. River say I'm drying up, deforestation must stop. You better go to Grandma Lake, visit the for goodness sake. Atan la me kaule, atan la de sole. Climate change. Let's do something about it. Désolé, 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 désolé. Who gonna? Grandma Lake began to cry. She even explained why. Mother Earth is getting sick. Climate change will be drastic. Time for action is today. Mobilizing everywhere. Use your talent. Spread the word. Around the world. Let it be heard. Atan la me kaule, Entendre la vie désolée. Entendre la mer caoulée. Entendre la vie désolée. When I say quick, then you say quoi? Quick. Quick. Moi dis tim tim ou dis passé. Tim tim. Passé. Tim tim. Passé. Powerball, c'est bon power. Powerball, c'est bon power. Powerball, c'est bon power. Powerball, c'est bon power. Aïe, un chien, me dit qui dans un blanc. Gros passage jamais. Plié qui sent, quand ça part, jamais essayer. Les héritiers ont enfants, non pas jamais essayer. Les héritiers ont enfants. Powerball, c'est bon, Powerball, c'est bon, Powerball, c'est bon, Powerball, c'est bon, Powerball. Piti à piti, oiseau café niche, aïe, chaudy chou, ish, café ish, oui, enfants café enfants, c'est pour nous parler de ça. Enfants café enfants, c'est pour nous parler de ça. Powerball, c'est bon power. Powerball, c'est bon power. Powerball, c'est bon power. Powerball, c'est bon power. IPTH, Papa go bois, c'est yon parole. Tout le monde connaît ça. C'est ça qui fait, nous pas qu'à perdre espoir. C'est ça qui fait, nous pas qu'à perdre la foi. Powerball, c'est bon, Powerball, c'est bon, Powerball. Powerball, c'est bon, Powerball. Powerball, c'est bon, Powerball. When I say quick, then you say quoi? Oui. Wow. But this team will be what's team. When I say quick, then you say quoi? Oui. Wow. When this team will be what's team. Team. Makaksa kibebai kamute, makaksa kibebai kamute, makaksa kibebai kamute, makaksa kibebai kamute. Pourquoi il pas kamute? Elle est finie, dis-moi. Pourquoi il pas kamute? Elle est finie, dis-moi. Elle est finie, tropical. Elle est finie, tropical. Elle est finie, tropical. Elle est finie, tropical. Powerball, c'est bon, Powerball. Powerball, c'est bon, Powerball. Powerball, c'est bon, Powerball. Powerball, c'est bon, Powerball.